Hi, my name is Sierra Sullivan, and today I'm going to be talking about an artist named David Smith, and I hope you learn a little something today. So, first off, I'm going to be talking about his most popular art. The Cubist is one of David Smith's best work, and this is a piece he is most known for. It consists of arrangements of geometric shapes which highlight his interest in balance and the contrast between positive and negative space. This was the last piece he made before he died in 1965. He was the first artist in the US to work with metal. The Cubist is made of stainless steel with a hand-brushed finish. Smith learned his soldering and spot welding techniques from working at an automobile factory in Indiana. This is where he first started to work with metal. Next off, was he a good artist? Smith, I believe, was a good artist because he was creative and unique. He made sculptures of subjects never before seen in three dimensions. The only difference between his sculptures and a painting was the fact that his was three-dimensional. This piece, called the Hudson River Landscape, is one of many of his unique forms of art. He often made sculptures of nature, geometric and spherical shapes, symbols, and more. He was also awarded the prestigious Guggenheim Fellowship in 1950 for creative arts. His work is also seen in many museums, such as MoMA, Whitney Museum of American Art, Harvard Art Museums, and more. So, moving on to his impact on society. David Smith influenced a lot of artists in society because his ideas and techniques were very unique. He polished his stainless steel, welded scrap metals, and painted on his sculptures. He also practiced Cubism, Surrealism, and Constructivism. Cubism is all about looking at things from a different point of view. Surrealism is based on the power of imagination, basically, and constructivism is like abstract symbols or recreations of objects in an abstract way. Smith's techniques and practices influenced artists like back in his times and perhaps even today. He also practiced minimalism in his art, which is when artists promote the valued things and remove distractions in their art. He was the first to start the idea of minimalism, and artists still use this idea today. Some artists he inspired are Donald Judd, Robert Mournes, Agnes Martis, and Frank Stella. Next are some statements or stories in his art, and one piece of art that has like a backstory to it that I'd like to talk about is the Tanktum 1. It's the first piece in Smith's eponymous series. It's made with welded steel. He saw his sculptures as a way to draw in space. His goal for this art was to express, universal topics, like he did with this piece. This art is a symbol of universal humanity. The totem and the idea of totemism was an important symbol for Smith. A totem is a sacred object that serves as an emblem for a family, clan, or tribe. Smith believed that totemism took place in ancient societies to discourage incest. Tribes were encouraged to identify with different totems representing animals to eat or not to eat. Smith thought the totem suggested an art object that might strike fear into humanity and prevent conflict. Most see his piece as two human figures or birds joined at the neck, one looking left and the other looking right. This piece was influenced by his interest in collages. Like paper collages, his sculptures could also be made of various existing elements. And next, lastly, we're going to kind of look at the themes and principles found in his art. More specifically, his one part of the Cubi series, which is called the 28 Cubi, that's composed with geometric shapes. The cross beams were meant to be arranged to symbolize still life. Smith wanted the Cubi series to be displayed outdoors, so the polished stained steel would reflect changes in the lighting conditions. This art fits into the theme of the natural world because he stated that he felt like he made square clouds. The principles I found that fit this piece are scale and proportion and unity and variety. The different types of shapes give it variety. There are long beams, cubes, and a sphere shape. Though given three different types of forms, it all seems to work together and create one piece of art, which kind of unifies it all. This also has scale and proportion because the size of each shape is different. The size of his square clouds differ compared to actual clouds, giving it scale. And the long beams compared to the smaller cubes and sphere give it proportion. And here's my Works Cited page where I got my information. I hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit about David Smith. Thank you.